Hello, my name is EagleGarrett, and I've been a streamer since 2017, and I've been streaming full-time since 2018, and a lot has changed when it comes to streaming, especially pertaining to how to grow on Twitch. One of my most popular videos here on this channel was my video on how to grow on Twitch that I did a few years ago. If you want to check that video out, it's up here at the top of this video. Definitely go back and watch it because everything we talk about in that video, well, at least most things we talk about in that video are still valid to this day. But there are also some new things that have popped up, as well as my opinion on a few of those things that we talked about in that video has changed. So in this video, we're going to cover the new ways to grow on Twitch and what I think are the most important things to focus on when it comes to Twitch growth, or really growth on any platform that you choose to stream on. Now, I want to go through the list. There's about 8 things that we're going to talk about in this video. I'll give you a brief synopsis here. I'll have timestamps so you can go to any one of these in this video, as well as if you want to watch the entire video and then go back and reference those places. So let's dive in and talk about how to grow on Twitch. Now, as we dive into this video, if you find this video helpful in any way, consider hitting that sub button and the like button, and even the notification bell if you want to know when videos like this go live. It helps out the channel and it helps out these videos. It also lets me know which types of videos you guys want to see more of. So please consider doing that for me. It would help out a ton. But let's dive in and talk about the 0 viewer mistake. Now, this is the same mistake that people have been making since I did my original video, and it was a huge it was a huge part of that video. A lot of people talked about that, but I still see it happening to this day. And simply put, if we go over to Twitch and we go into the browse section of Twitch and we go to any game on here, and we're just going to pick Gray Zone Warfare because it is a game I've been playing a lot of recently and I love it. Now, you'll notice Twitch sorts viewership from high to low, meaning that the most viewed streams get put at the very top. This can also be put into recommended for you, which will organize this with what Twitch thinks you're going to like the most, but most of the time people are looking from high to low. This is the way Twitch has always been. But if we scroll to the very bottom of this category, the Gray Zone Warfare category, go all the way down, you'll notice that there are streams down here that have 0 viewers. And I don't understand why like this person with 1 viewer is at the very bottom. I think this may be glitching out a little bit, but the reality is there are people down here with 0 viewers, and this is extremely unnecessary. This does not need to happen. You do not need to have 0 viewers because, very simply put, if you even pull up your own stream to monitor your stream and make sure that it is working properly, it should give you 1 viewer. It'll count you as 1 viewer if you're just watching your stream to make sure that it's working while you yourself are streaming. And that would automatically put you above anybody that's streaming with 0 viewers. And obviously, the higher up on the list you go, the better off you're going to be. Now, the other thing that I'm going to mention is the fact that you don't need to stream to 0 viewers, even if you are not watching your stream yourself or monitoring your stream, which you probably should be because it helps you know when things are not going well. The reality is you can have a family member or a friend log in and lurk in your streams, meaning if they got an old device, they can pull your stream up and just leave it there all the time. If they've got an old laptop or a tablet or something. If you got a family member that every time you're about to go live say, hey, just log into your account and pull up my stream for me. Even if they don't have the sound on, it will still count as a view. So don't be afraid to use your resources around you and ask if people would be willing to be your first or second viewer. This will automatically bump you above everybody else who's at 0 viewers or 1 viewer. It just helps your stream out. People, I don't understand why people are still streaming to 0 viewers. It doesn't mean if you've got 0 viewers that you're not a good content creator, but what it does do is it kind of puts you at the very bottom of the list where you're out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Do not stream for 0 viewers. Don't make that mistake. It's super unnecessary. Now, the second tip we're going to talk about is streaming is secondary. And what does that mean? Well, it is basically a shift of your mindset as a streamer. Now, most of us, including myself, got into streaming because we wanted to be a live streamer. And we love the idea of going live, making all of our content while we're live. And then when you end the stream, you're done until the next time you go live. But the problem is that you cannot grow on Twitch in 2024 and beyond if you are doing this. And the reason why, and this was even valid and relevant back when I started streaming in 2017, is that people will not find you. Twitch still, with some of the upgrades and the updates they have to the recommended feed and stuff like that, Twitch still does not push out your stream in any type of algorithmic way that makes a lot of sense. It's not discoverable the way that YouTube is or TikTok or some of these other platforms. So you have to start thinking about streaming as your secondary form of content. And your primary form of content is your short form and long form videos. Now, this means that when you stream, you are streaming to talk with and hang out with the community that you've been building from other platforms. So you need to start focusing on how you can create content for YouTube and YouTube Shorts, as well as TikTok. Those are the three main places that you're going to get the most growth, and the biggest ones that most creators today are utilizing for their growth. If you can get into this mindset and you can start thinking about the fact that long form and short form content on these video platforms is going to bring you in people into your community, then when you go live, those people are more likely to show up to your streams, and you are going to naturally grow more, especially as your YouTube and TikTok accounts grow. So get into that mindset. You can still stream the majority of the time as long as you're able to take enough time to pump out content on YouTube and TikTok. Then you are going to kind of get into this perpetual motion of growth that is going to be the most effective in the streaming space. And if you want your stream to grow, that's the best way to do it. Now, this goes into tip number 3, which is the content farming strategy, meaning while you are live streaming, if you can get into the mindset of making your live stream your content, or basically planning your live streams to do things that you want to do for YouTube and for TikTok, then you can farm the content from your live streams. So when you're done streaming, that's what's going up on YouTube and that's what's going up on TikTok. You don't need to do a lot of separate content, especially if you want to primarily be a live streamer. Instead, focus on doing things in your live stream that would make good content on these other platforms. Also, make sure that you are either recording or clipping great moments within your stream that you can share, especially short form content. And don't focus so much on the best, sniper shots or, the craziest kill montages or things like that. You can do that content, but the more effective type of content you want to focus on is what is going to show your personality from the streams, right? What clips are going to relay who you are and why people should come hang out with you, no matter what game you're playing, based on the personality that you are able to inject into that moment. So if you only focus on your craziest shots and your craziest clips, then you're going to limit yourself as far as growth. Whereas if you sprinkle in some of those really cool shots, as well as your personality driven content, that's going to be where you're going to see the most growth. If you have a crazy clip, feel free to post it, but make sure that you're not just focused on those unless you're going to be a professional esports athlete or something. At that point, yeah, then maybe it makes sense. But other than being into, esports professionally or something like that, you really want to get that personality injected into all of your content you're pumping out. Now, this is ultimately going to be the best way to grow an audience at the surface level. You are looking at your streams as secondary, or if you're streaming a ton, then you're looking at your streams as your primary form of content creation, and you're planning out those streams with videos that you want to make out of the content from that stream, and you're farming that content over and over and posting it on TikTok and YouTube, and then people are coming back from there to your Twitch streams. But how do you cross-pollinate that audience from TikTok, from YouTube, from social media accounts like Instagram and X and places like that? How do you get people to come over to your Twitch? Or how do you get them to follow you on these other places? That's where the cross-pollinate tip comes in. There's a couple of ways to do this. One of the simplest ways is that you can either mention your live streams on Twitch in your YouTube videos or in your shorts. You can also post, some type of graphic on your video somewhere that shows your Twitch handle and the little Twitch logo. You can do things like that. But one of the coolest ways to cross-pollinate your community and your audience happens to also be the sponsor of this video, and that's Tropy. Once you're logged in, it is an entire account based on trying to get your audience, your viewers, to go to specific places and follow you, cross-pollinate your different social media accounts and content accounts. Now, what you can do is you can set up tasks for your community, and each task is worth a certain amount of points, which you can edit all of this. And over here on the right-hand side, you can actually see that there is a little phone that is the example of what people would see on their mobile device if they looked at my Tropy account. But you can go over here and add a task. They've got over 80 tasks that you can choose from. You can assign points to any of these things or these tasks, and people can go through and complete the tasks to earn points. Now, why are they earning points? Well, that's because there is a rewards section. You can set up rewards here, whether it be, to give out a sponsored prize. Maybe you have a sponsor that wants to give something away. or if you click on add reward, you can go through here and add all kinds of things that they've already got set up, as well as you can start from scratch on both this and the tasks and choose what you want people to win or what you want people to do. Anyway, the idea is to cross-pollinate your community by people coming over here and completing these tasks. Now, once you get your Tropy account set up, you'll notice that this is what it's going to look like when they log in. And on their mobile phone, you saw what that looked like as well over here to the right-hand side. But they'll come in here and they will simply click on one of these. And if they want to earn 20 points, they hit follow on Instagram and they will follow you on Instagram. And now they'll have 20 more points added to their total amount of points. And it'll show them up here as well as how much it costs point-wise to enter this giveaway. Now, once I've set up a reward, if I click on the reward, it will tell me the description of the reward. It'll tell me when the reward ends, how long it can be up. You can actually schedule these to go on for long, periods of time if you want to, or make them very brief. And then it also talks about the price per entry and your total point balance right here. And so I can enter to draw because I've got 20 points and it only costs 10 points to enter. I can hit enter draw, and then I can just select how many entries I want, and it will deduct those points from my account. And then I'll hit continue. It'll tell me kind of a synopsis of what I'm purchasing with my points, and I hit confirm. And now I have been entered into the drawing. This is a great way to cross-pollinate your audience. So I highly recommend you guys check out Tropy. It's extremely awesome. They've got all kinds of different options for you as far as, pricing. And just recently, they opened up a free tier. So if you want to check it out, you can get in completely free and try it out and use Tropy without it costing you anything to see whether it's something that you think would be great for your community. So if you want to check out Tropy, I've got a link down in the description of this video. And if you use my link, you'll get 10% off if you choose to go with any one of the paid versions of Tropy. But like I said, it's completely free to use and to try out. So go over and check it out today. Thank you so much to Tropy for sponsoring this video. And it is a great way to cross-pollinate your audience. Now, the fifth tip I have for growing on Twitch actually is to stop doing something that I did recommend in that video I mentioned earlier, but that is you need to stop the going live posts. And I'll explain and prove to you why you should stop doing this. But if we come over to my Twitch account here and we look at the day that I started streaming on Twitch, which was actually, it was kind of the middle of January 2017. But if we go back year by year in my streaming journey, we can scroll down here and on the Twitch dashboard, it will actually show you the discovery, the engagement, where people came from and that sort of thing. And if you look, my first year streaming on Twitch, I had a grand total of 12,526 views. This was over streaming an entire year. You can see all the times I streamed throughout that entire year. I was streaming a lot. And you scroll down here and you see that I had 12,526 views. And I used to think, and I did recommend to people to post going live notifications on places like Twitter back then. Now it is X, right? And so you've all seen it. Hey guys, I'm going live on Twitch. Come check it out, watch the stream, and they'll post their Twitch link or URL within their post on X and other social media, right? But let me show you what I've discovered, okay? 12,526 views my first year on Twitch. And if we go up here to Twitter, you see that Twitter is one of the places that my views from outside of Twitch came from. Now I had 3,553 views outside of Twitch. And if we look at Twitter, it says that 1% of my views came from outside of Twitch, came from Twitter. And if I roll over this, that's 49 views. Out of 12,526 views, 49 of them came from Twitter. Now, if we look every single year, if I go to 2018 to 2019, how many views did we have this year? 97,799, right? We go up here, we look at Twitter, 2% of my total views from outside of Twitch, which my total views were 13,000. We go to Twitter, that is 211 views came from Twitter. This is in 2018 to 19, okay? Let's go to 19 to 20, January 2019. We have 213,000 views. How many were from Twitter? 134. And this was every single time I went live, I was posting on Twitter, okay? Every single time. The majority of my tweets were just going live tweets. All right, let's go to the next one. And I'm showing you this. This is probably my most viewed year. This is 462,000 views in a year, almost 500,000 in a year. And you go up here, how many were from Twitter? 144. Okay? You guys get the point. And this is consistent throughout the rest of my streaming journey. Okay, this is consistent throughout the rest of my streaming journey. 116 in 2021. And then somewhere in here, I think it might have been 2022, 108. Okay, maybe it was in 2023. Let me check. Yeah, 2023. I don't have any stats because I stopped posting on Twitter. Okay, I stopped posting on X, going live notifications. Now, let me explain to you why I'm saying you should stop doing this. I'm not saying not to use X. I think you should use X. I think you should use platforms like that. But whenever you post going live notifications as your primary content on these platforms, what you're doing, whether you're putting a picture with it, a video with it, whatever, anytime you post a link, a URL outside of X to your Twitch stream, for instance, you get heavily reduced in the amount of views and the algorithm pushing out that post. Now, it used to be a tweet. You get heavily reduced in the amount of eyes that get on that tweet. So a lot of people are not seeing your posts on X whenever you're posting the going live post, right? Unless they are following you directly. And even at that point, they're not always seeing those things. And so what you're doing is you're not only reducing your exposure on X, but people get tired of seeing going live posts every single day, right? It's okay to post every once in a while, but my most viewed posts ever on X are not my going live posts. They're always other content. It might be a clip from my stream that I share on X. It might be, some comment I made or a repost that I made or something like that. But the reality is that I was only getting about 100 or at the high end 200 views from Twitter or from X over the course of an entire year of streams. And that was going live post after going live post after going live post, and a lot of times nothing in between. It clutters up your feed on X, and X is a place where a lot of streamers and content creators hang out. You can post every once in a while if you've got a big event coming up or something like that, but don't do the daily going live posts. Keep it a lot more sporadic. Instead, post content from your streams that will make people want to come watch you when you're live. They'll make people want to come check out your schedule. And we're going to talk about schedule here in just a minute because that's going to tie back into this. But the reality is, post updates and let your social media platforms outside of Twitch be other places that people can get good content rather than just announcement boards for your live streams. The days of that are over. And I recommended this to people in my original How to Grow on Twitch video, and I'm clearing the slate right now and telling you that is not the play, okay? Instead, post good content on these things, interact with people, interact with your audience, and let it be a fun addition or kind of a behind the scenes look at you as a streamer and a content creator, rather than this is just where I'm going to try to continually push people over to my live streams anytime I'm live, and that's all you're going to really get. Otherwise, people will just not pay attention to what you post on X because it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. So stop the going live posts, you guys. That is one of my tips that has changed since I started. Now, number 6 is don't be afraid to be yourself. Or I have a note here. It says, or an embellishment of yourself, but be genuine. Now, what does this mean? Some of the biggest streamers on Twitch right now are either completely themselves or an embellishment of themselves, but they are genuine in their personalities, in their interests, in their likes, in their positions on things. They are genuine in that. They'll stand firm on things they really believe. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And when you're starting out on Twitch, it's very easy to try to follow others or be like other streamers, or think that, well, because this person is this way, I want to be like them, so I'm going to act like them. But don't do that. People are not looking for a clone of somebody that they already watched. They're looking for someone that they can connect with. And so be yourself, let that shine through, all right? And build the community that you want to have. Don't be afraid to set down boundaries and rules within your chat and have people stick to those things. Some people stick around and love it. Some people may leave, and that's okay. But be yourself and let that be what builds your stream up, rather than trying to appease the masses. Now, my 7th tip is don't get content locked. And what does this mean? It means do not get stuck only playing one game or only doing one thing. Don't be afraid to try out new things. Don't be afraid to play a new game. If you don't do that, if you don't practice a little variety here and there, then what will happen is you will focus on one thing for so long that the moment you try to change because the game dies, it closes down, you just can't stand it anymore because you're so tired of it. You've already put in 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 hours and you just can't play another second of it. You'll switch to something else and you'll lose the majority of your audience. You want to build a community that is there for you and not just because you play a specific game. Don't get yourself backed into a corner and get content locked. But at the same time, I want to preface this all by saying push in to what is working. Meaning, if you are playing a game and you notice that you get more viewers in a specific game than other games, it could be a signal to you that that game is doing well and you should maybe invest in that game a little bit more. You can still mix in other games here and there or play your main game for a little while and switch to another game, whatever it may be. Maybe you play one game for a whole entire year straight. That's okay. But just remember that you don't want to get yourself backed into a corner where when you stop enjoying a game, you play it anyway, even though you don't really like it, just because you're worried about losing viewers. If you do that, you will get yourself content locked, and then it'll be even harder to get out of that state later on. So push into what's working, but don't get stuck. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about, guys, is schedule. All right. And this is something we talked about in our first video. This is something that is still to this day massively important. Having a schedule is the only way to create content, especially when it comes to live streaming. Okay. These days you can post a video on YouTube, and whether you post on Monday or you post on Wednesday, over time that video can still do well because it's there, it's searchable, and if you do your SEO and your thumbnail and your title and stuff the correct way, people can still find the video. But when you're live, if you don't have a schedule, nobody knows when to come to your stream and when to watch you. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't be flexible on your start times. It doesn't mean that if you're going to be late one day, you can't let everybody know, hey, I'm going to be late. But if you take it serious and you have a schedule and you say, okay, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever the days are, I'm going to be live and I'm shooting for this time, right? Then people know, hey, I'm going to show up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? I'm going to show up around this time. It's massively important. It's massively important. If you don't have a schedule, people will never know when to show up. The other thing is, if you are going to be live streaming and have a schedule and take it seriously, also have a place that you can communicate with your viewers, like Discord, where you can tell them, hey, I'm going to be late today, or there's no stream today, or we're going to start early, or whatever it may be. Have a place where you can communicate with your viewers. Just like we use Tropy for getting people to cross-pollinate to all these different, social media platforms and the places you produce content. Use Discord as a place that you can bring everybody together and communicate directly to your audience, no matter which one of those social platforms they use the most. Guys, with that being said, those are my 8 tips to grow on Twitch. The most important things I think you should focus on. These are the things that are really getting people to grow quickly and most effectively. So if you'll implement these things, then I think you're going to find some great success in your streaming journey. And no matter where you're at, whether you're just starting or you've been streaming for a while, guys, continue to enjoy the journey. It is a great one. I've been doing it for over 7 years and it's been a blast. It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. So enjoy the journey, have a good time, and hopefully this has been a help to you. If it has, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and the thumbs up button and all that kind of stuff. If you really like the video, it would help out a ton. I really, really appreciate it if you do. And then also on top of that, if you want to find me live streaming on Twitch, you can come to twitch.tv/EagleGarrett. I live stream over there all the time. So hang out with us. I've got my schedule posted over there, and we would love to see you in the chat. Feel free to ask questions there or in the comments of this video. I will try to answer as many as I can here in the video, but if you come to my live stream, it's the best place to talk to me because I'm live and we're hanging out. So you can ask me whatever you want over there. Also, you can find me on all the social media accounts. I've got everything linked in the description of this video, as well as a link to Tropy down in the description of this video. Make sure you click that link because there will be a discount for you if you end up wanting to go with Tropy long term. So I definitely recommend doing that. And finally, join our Discord, discord.gg/flock. We'd love to have you in there. I've got a link for that down there as well. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next video. As always, rock on, peace out, God bless. And last but not least,
Does that mean you're running away? New mag!
Yo, guys, they can't get up here. Oh, no, they can. Oh, what in the world? How do you knock me down?
Injury?
Yo, that's the smartest bug I've ever seen.